Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to do part 4 of What If Deku was in Seven Deadly Sins. In the last part, Meliodas explained why he wanted her to train Deku in magic. Deku felt some kind of pull to basically drink the demon blood. He didn't know why he was hearing a voice telling him drink the blood, basically, which is actually his power kind of trying to activate. There's like a feeling of it's right to do it. Um, Hendrickson was defeated, and 7 commandments were released. So I didn't say that part, but yeah, when Hendrickson actually used, transformed into a demon, full grey demon, basically, the 10 Commandments were released in that moment, so yeah, that happened. So between that happening and the moment when Galan arrived, Galade, not sure how you pronounce it, I'm going to go with Galade. But yeah, basically between that moment, I would say there's around 2 weeks, I think. I don't remember really if it was instantly, but if not, I'm going to say it's 2 weeks. If it's more than that, then it's more than that. Just because Merlin decided to try and teach him magic and make him learn how to do it, basically. um, so she gave the eye to Hawk, basically the thing that let him see power level. So power, magic, spirit. So during that time, he told what happened when he saw the demon, that he was his mind was basically telling him to drink the blood, which she was kind of intrigued that it happened, and she tried something because she didn't know if it was just the demon literally calling him to do it, or if something inside of his body was actually telling him that's what you have to do. So she basically went and looked for she basically went and asked Bon since before he left, if I remember correctly. Wait, no. Yeah, I think he left after the small festival that they had together, where Meliodas basically broke the fingers of one of the of someone. Basically, that happened before they Bon left. Well, before the 7 Deadly Sins left to go search for Escanor, which was then retconned to basically make them stay for a party and not do that, basically, and leave a bit later with other things happening, like Diane losing her memory because of Goder. Since they were all supposed to leave except Ban, that was going to the Fairy King Forest, they were all supposed to leave together to go to search for Escanor, but they decided to switch it for different things. So I'm going with the retcon since it's kind of what it is now, basically. So, during that time, she basically went to look for Ban and asked him if she could take some of his blood. Basically, he asked her why, and she said that it was to try something with deku, which they call izuku, basically. So he accepted just because, yeah, well, it doesn't really change anything. I just heal from it. So he basically placed blood in a glass and she brought it to Deku. She placed it in front of him and asked him to look at it and see what happens. And the same voice in his head was telling him, drink the blood, and basically trying to force him to do it. Which he basically said that it's happening again. It's the same exact thing. So she told him to drink it, basically, which she kind of looked at her a bit horrified. And she said, don't worry, it's Ban's blood. Um, he's immortal, he cannot get sick or anything, so he should be alright. You should be alright by drinking it. As well as it has some healing property, um, abilities. So he drank it, and she was looking with the same thing, the eye, to see the power level, basically. She had one, and she saw his power increase by a small amount. Right now, his attack, well, his power, left at 600, simply because of the blood that he drank, since Ban has a huge amount of strength. His magic basically ended on a 462, and his spirit basically augmented to around 540. So at first she thought that's the only thing that he gained, but he also gained some knowledge, a way to use a special type of magic that only Ban was able to use. Basically every magic that he uses, so Snatch, Hunter's Fist, and basically everything like that. So she didn't know about that. He felt it and it was like, what the hell? Which she basically asked him if he feels anything different, which he then says that he feels as if he knows how to use the attacks that Ban uses, so Snatch and everything like that, which she asked him to try and do, and he basically does it. So yeah, this is the moment that he starts getting a bit overpowered compared to normal people, basically, because now his power level is 600. Well, around, I just said around 600, to be precise, it's 612 that I wrote down. Magic, which is 453. I'm not sure if that's what I said in the video, but that's what is written. I'm just going to go with what is written, since most of the time I actually read it once before doing it, and then I just recheck like my notes during the time when I forget something. After that, spirit 540. That's a total of over 1,500, almost 1,600. Wait, no, that's 100, 600. and a bit more. So yeah, I actually, yeah, he's pretty powerful. Now, compared to the last part where I said that Gil would just be able to kill him because of the magic that he controls. Now Deku has magic, and there's no way he's getting out of that. He became overpowered. So since it's kind of, well, because of what she saw, she basically told him about what she has for ability, basically her infinite, which means that she casts a spell once, and as long as she wants, it keeps, well, it stays like that, no matter how much magic it's cost, as well as her huge amount of magic. And basically, she decides to just see how little it would be needed for him to actually do it, and doesn't ask for anyone else, and basically just kind of take a drop of her own blood. So yes, he's going to have the infinite, but he just gained four, like 140 magic, since he does gain a part of it, but not all of it. So magic was 453 written here. Then what I add, so 500. Oh god, 603 in total, which augments his overall power to 1740 something. Holy shit. Yeah, sorry. So Deku basically gained her ability still, even with just a single drop of blood. And she basically told him to try and cast the spells that he has, that he now have in his memory. She basically told him to cast the same spell that makes her stay, well, that stops her time completely. And he doesn't have enough, well, no, he would have enough magic to use it by this point. So yeah, actually, it would work. But no, well, yeah, let's say he just used it. He asked her how he would know, and she just said, well, only time will tell. You won't age now anymore. And so she asked him to use another spell, and he's able to use it. So Deku has a regen that's a bit bigger than just before, since he gained a good amount of power. Um, and after the training, well, before the training ends, basically, she decided to give him, well, I had the item in head. Basically, it was a sword, but it's not a sacred treasure. It's basically just a sword a bit stronger than normal. But I had the exact name for what the weapon is called, but I don't remember it anymore. Basically, I didn't even read it. I wrote it because I kind of decided that right before doing it. I have the paper, but I don't have the pen to write it. So yeah, I don't remember the name of the sword. But yeah, basically a short sword, basically to accommodate his size. Um, Made tougher than normal swords. And yeah. So after that, they go to the thing that happened where Meliodas went in a fight with someone because the guy basically told them that they weren't that strong, blah blah blah. Um, those that could sense strength, so the sins basically sense the strength that Deku had now. He was basically halfway there to being a sin, which the king was told about it, and that if he became powerful enough, they would try and find a new sign and a new name for the sin, which I would recommend trying to give name in the comment section of what the sin could be named. So like Izuku, um, the sin of that thing, and then the animal that comes with it. So yeah, in the comment section, give a name that you would like to see. I'm going to look for the one I like the most, or the one that has the most likes. Since only around 100 people actually watch those videos on the, well, in 24 hours, most of the time it's not even 80 people. But yeah, basically I'm going to do the part 5 in 2 days, so you still have a bit of time. But yeah, find him a name for the sins he would be. Um, so yeah, basically after that, kind of the same thing happened with Ban leaving, then Galad arriving and attacking. Deku basically having the abilities of Ban tried to steal his strength, and he was overwhelmed with it. He was able to beat up Galad for a while, until he kind of ran out of steam, wasn't able to continue since he doesn't have the same regeneration as Ban, which is fully extremely fast. Deku is one that is overtime for now and slow. Still allowed him to keep going for a small amount of time, but no, Galad was able to get his strength back before Deku was able to end him. And then Goder did the same thing, placing images in his mind of killing everyone. And he left. Basically, first thing that happened is they went to ask if Deku was okay, while he was literally just unable to move because his body hurted so much. Basically, he said if he was able to, he would scream, but he's not able to do that. He seems calm, but he's really not. Like, the adrenaline pumping through his body is basically the only reason he's able to talk like that. After that, the thing with Tian leaving happened. Ban, well, no, the thing with Ban getting to the forest, King killing the stone giant, then King coming back, then Diane leaving. When they heard what Goder did, he just asked well, he tried to do something to see if he could actually find a way to help her by trying to get blood from Gother, who does not have blood because he's a puppet, like a little doll that when you remove the magic from, he's basically the size of a toy. So, yeah, basically, everything for her happened the same. Everything for Ban and Jericho happened the same as well, finding Escanor, while everyone else basically went for the druids to get more power, as well as getting Meliodas' power back. Um, Also, one thing I want to clear up that I kind of just realized. I said that Deku stole a part of Galan's magic and power and was able to push him around. What I say by this is not like half of his power like Bond did, since he can steal more than that if he wants to. If the power isn't too high for him. Because his body still has a limit. Deku only stole like 10%, and thanks to Meliodas and the others, they were able to kind of fight him back since he had 10% less power. So the combined force was just kind of enough to keep him back. But yeah, so going back to where we were, Deku went in with someone. Let's just say he went with Hendrickson. Like, they went once, then they came out, and then Deku went back in with him to train. Or no, you know what? Hawk. Hawk was alone. I'm just placing him with Hawk then. I just thought about that. So yeah, a bit of a change. Instead of fighting, well, they're still going to fight a dragon, but this time it's the same thing that happened with Hawk, basically. Um, Deku was able, after a bit, to basically get some blood off of it and drink it, while Hawk basically ate part of the dragon after he was ingested by it. Deku didn't get skills from it, but if he needs to, he can get them, as well as being able to breathe fire, and if he wants to, he can make wings, basically like a demon, but red and scaly. So, yeah, Deku basically has the power of a dragon, the power of Ban, the power of Merlin, and the only thing he gained from the dragon is, since the dragon is kind of just a bit over a human normally compared to the Sins, I would say he only gained around like 20 in strength, um, 13 in magic, and like 25 in spirit, and basically that's all he got. But he still gained the ability to fly with wings, which he doesn't need because he can just fly like Merlin. The real reason I had him eat that is because, well, he can basically make scales on his body now, as well as make wings that can protect other people. And that's basically the reason why I gave him that. Because I was going to make him fight a dragon with Hendrickson. So yeah, basically it's the same thing, but with a different person. Meliodas got his strength back, then went to the Ten Commandments, showed his strength, then went back. Then everything with Ban and Jericho finding Escanor happened. And I'm going to end it here before the maze that they're all made. So yeah, hope you liked it. Um, Try and put a name for Deku in the comment section with the animals that he would have to basically show that sin. So basically, not one of the 7 sins, but another one that he would have. So yeah, hope you liked it. Leave a like if you did. Not to. Out.